Hello everybody and welcome back to another reading vlog. So in this reading vlog, I thought it would be fun to read the oldest book on my TBR as well as the newest book on my TBR. It's going to be a 2-book reading vlog. Let me know if 2 or even 1 book reading vlogs are okay with y'all. I know typically I try to do 4, but if that's something you're interested in, I have quite a few ideas up my sleeve. So before we even get started, I need to determine what book is the oldest on my TBR. Now you're probably wondering, how do you know that? Here's the thing, when I first got back into reading, I mostly just ordered all of my books from Amazon. Even the first time I went and bought books was from the Amazon bookstore. I feel it might be a little bit easier for me specifically to determine my oldest book. However, I could also go back and look through my older hauls, but I at the time wasn't hauling all of the books. I think it's my safest bet to just look and see on my Amazon orders what was the oldest book. So I have 2022 pulled up because that is when I got back into reading. So I'm just gonna scroll and we're gonna see which one's the oldest. Okay, here we go. So here are the first 4 books that I purchased from Amazon. These I actually purchased from the Amazon bookstore before it was sadly closed. We have The Night Circus, The Thursday Murder Club, Someone We Know, and The Guest List. I have read all of those. And we have a ton of the Bridgerton books. When I first got back into reading, I read the entire Bridgerton series. I read like a Bridgerton book, another book, a Bridgerton book, another book. I don't know why, I've read them all, and I mean, I enjoyed them. They were great. So I've read all of these. These are books 5 through 8. The next little stack of books here we have is People We Meet on Vacation, The Summer I Turned Pretty, A Court of Thorns and Roses, The Man Who Died Twice, which is the second book in the Thursday Murder Club series, and House in the Cerulean Sea. I've read all of those. Then we have Love and Other Words, The House Across the Lake, It's Not Summer Without You, and A Court of Mist and Fury. I have read all of those. Doing great so far. The next batch is We'll Always Have Summer, The Silent Patient, and My Best Friend's Exorcism. Read all those. Then we have Ugly Love, A Court of Wings and Ruin, Rock, Paper, Scissors, A Deadly Inside Scoop, and Finlay Donovan Is Killing It. I've read all those. We have The Hunting Party and Rules for Vanishing. It's funny because I actually just recently read Rules for Vanishing, so thankfully that's already read, but I've read both of those. In a Holidays, this time next year, I had to get a replacement because mine came water damaged, and A Court of Frost and Starlight. I've read all of those. And that's it for 2022. So I've read every book, I guess, that I purchased in 2022. So let's go ahead and check out 2023. Okay, the next batch here is A Game of Cones, A Court of Silver Flames, The Rewind, and Finlay Donovan Knocks Him Dead. I have read all of those. And here we go, guys. I have found it. We have Dial A for Aunties, Flawless, Every Heart a Doorway, and Once Upon a Broken Heart. There's one of these that I have not read. Let me get it. And that is going to be Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I think I may have purchased this one first and then saw that you're supposed to read the Caraval trilogy, so then I went ahead and read those. Thankfully, I have already read those, so I'm ready. This is the next trilogy from Stephanie Garber. I really enjoyed Caraval. I thought it was fun and whimsical and a really great little YA fantasy, so I've heard nothing but great things about this. Let's get started. I'm coming at you with my first update, sweaty as heck. I just got off the treadmill. I have been walking the first like 15 minutes of my nightly walk and reading, and then spending the other 15 minutes actually hustling, which is really, really frustrating, you know, for somebody who's really into this book. Yeah, I'm pretty far into this. I should have updated you definitely a lot sooner. I just got into part 3. I'm like a couple chapters into part 3, chapter 39, page 278. I think I have a little over 100 pages left before I finish this. And so I figured, you know what, now's probably the best time to give you an update. This book is about Evangeline Fox. I'm gonna read the synopsis really quickly because I don't want to like spoil anything. So this book is about Evangeline Fox. It starts off immediately with her finding this door to meet the Prince of Hearts, who is one of the Fates. If you read the Caraval trilogy, we've met the Prince of Hearts before. We also, this all takes place after the Caraval trilogy. She walks in, she meets the Prince of Hearts after everything that had happened in finale with him. And it's kind of like a grants her 3 wishes thing. She wants to meet him because the man she loves is marrying someone else, and she is brokenhearted and wants to strike up a deal with him so that this marriage doesn't happen. And if you know anything about the Fates, Caraval, they like to play tricks, they like to have bargains, they like to do things. So he of course is like, okay, you're gonna kiss 3 people of my choosing and I will make sure that this wedding doesn't happen. And of course, like essentially chaos kind of ensues. She's a little bit more of a, I want to say the word hero because the word word hero is used quite often in this book. She's a little bit more of a hero than like a damsel in distress, a little teeny bit. She still is very damsel in distress in my opinion. She kind of defies some of his bargains that he sets with her, which makes the story super interesting. Because he is a fate, he has plans for her. Obviously, because he's setting this bargain, he gets to choose who she kisses, and he's kind of setting traps to get his own gains with certain people. Synopsis really doesn't say much, but I will say she is a hero. I don't know, I would say like 50-50, because she definitely still leans very damsel in distress. There's so many people in her life that she trusts, or like one person in her life that she trusts so wholeheartedly that it's just so glaringly obvious that she shouldn't trust this person. So that's kind of frustrating. However, I am enjoying Stephanie Garber's writing again. It's really fun and whimsical. It's great to be back in her writing and in the way she writes stories. This world is very whimsical and fun. There's this really cute little map at the beginning, which I really like because it has like mermaids and stuff. I'm interested to see how this becomes a trilogy, and if I could give you my thoughts if you should read the Caraval trilogy first, I would say I don't think it matters. Like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. However, I would still say yes, just solely because you meet Scarlett and Tella after the events of Caraval in this book. But although you could read this trilogy first and then go back, and that could be like a prequel. I mean, it is a prequel series, but like a prequel series for you. So once again, books are meant to be read in whatever way or whatever fashion you want to read them. I am happy I read the Caraval trilogy first, but I'm happy to be in this finally, considering I bought this in 2023. That's 2 years ago. Definitely going to be, I think I will finish this trilogy. I think I will, because I liked the Caraval trilogy, I liked the way it went, and I'm liking this so far, and I'm interested to see what, there's gotta be a cliffhanger at the end, right? That draws me into the next book. There has to be. Plus these books are just so freaking beautiful. It does read really quickly. It is a YA romantasy, if you will, so that it just, I mean, everything just goes so beautifully fast, and I really like it. I go take a shower, keep reading, and I'll keep you guys updated. I guarantee I will finish this book probably by tomorrow. I don't think I'll finish it tonight, but if I do stay up and finish it tonight, that'd be crazy, but I'll say I'll finish it tomorrow night just to be safe. So I finished Once Upon a Broken Heart. I'm giving it 4 stars. I thought this book was so whimsical and beautiful and fun, and the storyline was great. I really enjoyed following the story because I feel like this with Stephanie Garber's writing, the story just moves so quickly, which I love. And like I said, it's very dreamlike, very fairy tale-esque. I'm not quite sure if I said this about Caraval trilogy when I was reading it, but I have kind of the same thoughts and feelings where yes, the writing is really whimsical and pretty, and I love the plot and I love the story, but sometimes I feel like things just happen too coincidentally, or plots that maybe we cared about a lot in a certain chapter we just didn't care about at the end. Some of it doesn't make any sense, but I feel like you do have to suspend a level of disbelief when reading these. They're just so fun and cute and fairy tale-esque, and I really did enjoy this, and I'm very excited to continue the trilogy. I did purchase the next 2. They're right here. I'm so serious. This might be the prettiest like trilogy ever. Like the spines too are so pretty. So I do have the next 2. I'm very excited. I guess technically that means these 2 are my newest on my TBR. So if I do oldest to newest, technically this counts, right? I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that because I feel like that would be like a whole video of me just reading this trilogy. So we're gonna actually go back to the other 3 books that I had actually purchased before I purchased those 2, technically my newest books on my TBR. And I did already choose between the 3, so I'll tell you the ones I'm not reading, and then I'll tell you the one that I did start. So the last 3 books that I purchased were Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I was obsessed with Love on the Brain. I needed the rest of the Steminist books. Ali Hazelwood's writing is definitely one of my favorites, so I have this one, but I won't be reading it. I also have Suffer the Children by Craig DeLuey. I really enjoyed episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. The ending was a little wackadoodle, but you know, the first half was great. He had me in the first half, but this one just seemed really fun and horror and great, but those aren't the 2 I'm reading. So if you watched my last reading vlog where I mood read, I read We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough, and I was obsessed with it. I gave it 5 stars. I looked into Sarah Pinborough as an author and realized she has a thriller that was A, made into a Netflix series, which I definitely need to watch, and B, has some of the best reviews I've ever read. So I was like, I'm reading that one next. So I started Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. I bought this almost immediately after finishing We Live Here Now because it was so, like the ending of that, like it just all wrapped up so beautifully and was like really twisty and great. And I was like, I really like that in an author, a really twisty author. So I started this. I finished part 1 last night. I'm on chapter 19, page 95, and I'm really liking it so far. So in this, you're following from 2 different perspectives. You're following from Adele and Louise. So Adele technically has a then and now point of view as well. Her then point of view is when she's a kid and she's in this like mental institution, because I think there's another reason that we haven't quite found out why she's in there yet. Her parents died in a fire and she slept through it. She's in this mental institution. Interesting. And then her now perspective, so she was dating David when she was in mental institution at 17, 18 years old. She married David, who's I guess was like her high school sweetheart, and now she's like 28. It's been like 10 years. She's with David. He's a psychiatrist. They're together. They're married. She is kind of under lock and key by him, and again, we don't know why. I presume it's because of the mental institution. Those tied together somehow. Who knows? And then we have Louise. Louise works as a secretary for David. He meets him one night, like before he ever starts his job, and they kiss, and he's like, no, I'm married. And she's like, oh no, and then realizes it's her new boss. That's a whole really weird entanglement. And then somehow Adele runs into Louise and they become friends. It's all very twisted and weird. Louise is like in the middle of this like husband and wife relationship, and they're so weird. And I just want to know why. I want to know why these people are weird. I want to know, I feel like Louise, something's wrong with both of the women. I just feel it, and the man, of course, but I feel it in my bones, and I want to finish part 2 today. Part 2 finishes on page 188. Definitely think I can read this much today and then finish this whole book tomorrow because I'm intrigued. I need to know what's happening with these 2 characters, and I know it's going to be twisty and really, really good because Sarah Pinborough's Live Here Now, I keep wanting to say we used to live here. We Live Here Now was also very twisty and good. I'm gonna keep reading this and I'll keep you updated. I genuinely apologize for the way I look right now. I know I'm super, super greasy. I'm actually about to work out and then take a shower. I had a very long day at work today, but I had to update you right now because 1, I realized this video is only 2 books. So I need to make sure I'm giving you full and complete updates. So that way the video is not 5 minutes long. But 2, this book is broken up into 3 parts. So I thought it'd be fun to give you 3 separate updates. Tonight I finished part 2. About to start part 3 tonight. I'm on chapter 37, page 191. I think there's 300 pages. So I definitely think I'm going to be able to finish this book tonight, which I'm very excited about, especially because I do read while I'm on the treadmill, and I'm doing a very easy peasy, very light walk tonight, y'all. I had Olive Garden tonight. I had my 3 breadsticks. I'm not feeling great, if we're being honest. So I'm gonna do a light walk. Anyway, I'm gonna read this. Also, just want to note about this book, if you also read while on the treadmill, the font in this book is quite small and it gives me a headache every time, but it's okay. We're moving past that. This book's getting crazy. I can feel a twist, like a big reveal coming, and I just don't know what this character is planning. I know this character is planning something. I don't want to give anything away. It's incredibly difficult to talk about thrillers because I don't want to give anything away. I want you to read it for yourself. I know this particular character is planning something, and I just don't know what their intentions are. And I know it's gonna come to light in part 3. Obviously, it's the end of the book. We're gonna find out everything that we have been missing, and I'm interested to see what happens. If this twist is really good, like all the reviews say, and I like this says here, it is a Netflix original series. I watched the trailer for it today. I think the trailer is actually really great. I think I'm gonna actually make my husband and myself watch the show because I think as long as this twist is good, I need to see his reaction to it. I think there's only one good character in this whole book, and I hope they don't fail me either, but I can just feel something coming, and I don't know what it is, but I'm ready to be shocked. I'm ready to be awed. I hope I come back at you guys tomorrow and I can give you full thoughts and I can say the twist was amazing because I have really been loving Sarah Pinborough's writing. 3 books ago, whatever, I read I read We Live Here Now. I keep saying we used to live here. It's the same thing. We Live Here Now. And that book was so fantastic. So like, this is also so good. I might have to check out Sarah Pinborough's backlist because these have been just so good. So I cannot wait to see what happens. I will obviously keep you updated, but yes, so far, so good. So I finished Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough last night, just as predicted, and I'm gonna give it a 4 stars. So I'm gonna say, going into part 3, you're given a ton of different information, and I feel as someone who is a thriller reader, you're going to pick up on that information and then kind of deduce what the big twist is going to be. Because of that, I feel like I was able to figure out what that twist at the end was going to be, all of the stepping stones leading up to it. It just made the most sense. However, there was an additional twist at the end that I absolutely did not see coming, and for that reason I went to 4 stars. I was gonna give it 3 stars if I was going to guess the twist, which obviously I did, but that last twist at the end really secured it for me. It was really, really good. Like I said, I did not see it coming. This is an overall pretty good thriller. I had a really good time with it. Like it says, and like I mentioned before, it is a Netflix limited series. There's just 1 season, and I think I'm gonna see if my husband wants to maybe watch like 1 episode to see if we actually like it or if he likes it, because I think that ending will really get to him because it was really crazy. So the oldest book on my TBR and the newest book on my TBR both got 4 stars. Like, what are the odds, honestly? I really enjoyed both of these. I'm glad I read them both. I will definitely be continuing with the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I'm so excited, and I'm gonna continue to look into Sarah Pinborough's backlist. After reading this one, I think Insomnia might be one I look into. We shall see, but I enjoyed both of these so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog as well. Let me know if 2 books, or even like I said before, 1 book is okay for a reading vlog, because I have some ideas for next year. I enjoyed this. I'm glad I was able to knock this one off, and maybe one day I'll get all the books from 2023 that I've purchased read. But you know what? Until then, we did this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.